And we're back. Real quick before we get into the rest of the games and our fantasy matchups, I got some breaking news.
Interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
I don't know if you saw this show, but it did not look good for Chris Godwin. They're saying suffered a hamstring strain Sunday night, likely to miss some time per source. There's optimism that it's not major, but Godwin will be sidelined for a few weeks.
God, like we said, what was he playing for?
Come on.
Late in that game when it was obvious Dallas couldn't do a thing. Just
I love
leave
Chris
him
Godwin
out.
too. That is just, that's sad.
Guys
That's just sad.
So
it's really
much
sad
talent.
for my team. That's what I say, especially when I'm looking at some wide receiver troubles. And he was supposed to be the guy who was on the down low.
I got Hollywood Brown for you.
Just wait. He's coming. Don't worry. Just give that hamstring a little bit of time. Let it marinate.
All right. Do you want to go into the next game?
Yeah, what you got?
All right. Let's go to was this in Miami? New England and Miami?
Yes, it was in Miami.
Oh, how about that? And Joe, you were the big loser on this one. I think you took the Patriots. I took the Dolphins. The Dolphins win 20-7. To be honest, the Dolphins did not do a lot on offense. It didn't look great. Really, it was the two touchdowns that were kind of quick. I think it was the two plays actually that were the big ones. Were the fourth down they went for it, a Waddle, and then also the strip sack. Melvin Ingram scooped it up and took it in. No gloves, looking like a real football player, but he's wearing a single digit as an edge.
Yep, wearing number 6.
Gross. Anyways, Tua, like I said, I mean, the stats look fine, but I didn't think he looked great.
He didn't really do anything special. It was a lot of quick passes.
Chase Edmonds
wide receivers do that.
Chase Edmonds was leading the team in carries with 12.
Yeah, I was really happy to see that, though.
25 yards. That's really
it was not great output, but I'm glad he got the 12 carries. He was clearly the guy, just snap count wise as well. I was just happy to see that he was the lead back at the very least.
He was averaging just over 2 yards and a cloud of dust per carry there. Tyreek Hill, 8 for 94, did not score, but that's pretty good. And Jalen Waddle found the end zone on that big play, 4 for 69 and a touchdown. Chase Edmonds also had, like you said, 4 for 40.
Yeah, I was going to say on top of the 12 for 25, luckily he was very good and efficient in the passing game to kind of it's hard to go 12 for 25 on the ground and week one on a new team. You don't really want to do that as a running back. So for him to be able to put up 4 and 40 in the air, I think that definitely secures a nice little spot for him there.
This New England team looked like a team that had 2 failure defensive head coaches.
I know. And I bought into it like an idiot. All the offseason like downpour of how New England was looking. And I was like, dude, they're going to come in. It's the New England Patriots. They're going to beat the Dolphins. And I was wrong.
Matt Patricia and Joe Judge served up an absolute gem. The Patriots scored once. It was a Mac Jones touchdown pass to Ty Montgomery, fantasy superstar. You know, I saw Ty Montgomery finally change his goddamn number. He's not wearing 88 anymore.
Yeah, number 17. Even better for a running back. There you go.
Ramondre Stevenson had a couple catches, and I mean, it was about a 50-50 split. We got 9 and 8 with Harris and Stevenson. Really not a lot to get excited about on this offense for New England.
No,
Jacoby Myers had 455. But
I don't think there's going to be a receiver that you can count on at any point.
Did we see a tight end? Oh, Hunter Henry 2 for 20.
Yeah, not much.
No thanks. No thanks.
Yeah. So that was pretty much it there.
Wait, for this Miami game, Tyreek with 12 targets, really answering a lot of questions. It doesn't seem like it matters if Tua can't throw more than 40 yards down the field. Like they're going to find the way to get Tyreek the football because he's the best playmaker in the league, and I really don't think it's close.
Yeah, and I mean he had 11.8 average play in the air. So I mean it's not like he was getting the ball every time behind line of scrimmage. They were hitting him on these quick routes slightly down the field and letting Tyreek Hill kind of do what Tyreek Hill does. So that was really good to see if you're a Tyreek Hill manager like you are, Soup.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go to Shank City, aka Cincinnati.
You're also undefeated so far, Tessoni.
I know.
You've called every game so far.
I did not call this next one. I believe I said the Bengals were going to kick the shit out of the Steelers.
I dropped down to 500 because I was on the Bengals as well.
Yeah, so 23-20, the Bengals almost came back and pulled it off. If you saw the game, unbelievable. Terrible first half for Joe Burrow.
Looks like to me.
Yeah. And then it came down to a bunch of kicks that nobody wanted to make. Mitch Trubisky looked like Mitch Trubisky. There was nothing special. Joe Burrow had a terrible first half. He had 4 picks, 4 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, but fantasy-wise, he ended up being fine, even though the QBR was 42.1, lower than Trubisky's.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon got the rock put in his fucking gut.
I was happy to see it.
27 times, only 82 yards, but he also got involved. 7 catches, Joe Mixon.
I know. Let's go, baby. Pal. Come on. And he didn't even score a touchdown. That's the craziest part. He had like 22 fantasy points with no touchdowns.
Jamar Chase was Jamar Chase, 10 for 129 and a touchdown, including that one that tied it up at the end. If only they could have made an extra point. Teagan's left early, which led to a little more Tyler Boyd. Also Mike Thomas, not Michael Thomas, but Mike Thomas. Every time I see him in there, I get a little confused.
Yep.
On the Pittsburgh side, Deontay Johnson, 755, pretty solid. Nothing special. George Pickens.
I thought Muth was solid,
Pat
right?
Freiermuth was getting targeted by Mr. Trubisky, and
Deontay Muth.
Yeah, that was awesome to see.
Harris 10 for 23, not what you're looking for, but he did score through the air. Also, like we said, look out for his injury. What's next? George Pickens, maybe you just got to wait a little bit on him. Didn't look great.
Yeah, I think you might have to wait for a better quarterback, to be honest. I don't know if Mitchell Trubisky can withstand 3 wide receivers and a tight end in this offense. So I'm not 100% sold on George Pickens having a crazy fantasy output this season, but we'll have to see what the future holds. And also, Chase Claypool got involved in the running game. I definitely take into account Najee Harris getting hurt as a big reason for that. But I know even last year, they really liked giving Chase Claypool those end around and those jet sweeps to kind of let him get into open space and be a playmaker. So if Najee's out, I think that definitely boosts up Chase Claypool. Usually a running back going down doesn't necessarily boost up a wide receiver, but in this case, I think it does give him a little jump up.
I think especially, with having a backup rookie running back there and Najee in his second year, we're going to see maybe not so much from the rookie as maybe somebody like Claypool coming around or Deontay coming around. So
yeah,
Najee is out. I wouldn't even bother to look.
Let's just be honest. The fantasy superstar here was Minkah Fitzpatrick with the individual defensive players. He had 38 points, then get a pick 6, blocked field goal.
He should have been on the soups of the week.
Yeah, he should have been.
That was my fault.
Let's go to the next game. Try to get through these a little quicker. Next game, we got Indianapolis and going to Houston. And guess what? I don't know who you took, Joe. I think you probably took Indianapolis. You know what I took here? I took the under. It was 45.5. They finished with 40 points. Keep it rolling, baby. I only got one wrong.
I don't remember who I took, but if I remember correctly, I think I was on the Colts to win, but I didn't like the 7 number. So I would have to vet that and double check, but I'm going to give myself half credit.
Indianapolis, by the way, checked all the boxes first for fantasy, even though they didn't play well. Jonathan Taylor got the ball 31 times, 161 and a touchdown. Michael Pittman, how about 13 targets with 9 catches for 121 and a touchdown? Nyheim Hines even contribute a little bit. On the Houston side, Cooks did his thing, 7 for 82. OJ Howard, get the hell out of here, took 2 touchdowns.
12 targets for Brandon Cooks was great to see.
Yeah.
Yep.
So not a lot to talk about here. Probably the biggest thing here was Dameon Pierce. Like I said, everyone was hyped about him. Just pump the brakes a little bit. I like him.
Rex Burkhead. That's the guy.
Yeah.
Sexy Rexy. They both had a longest rush of 8 yards. So big game on the ground for the Texans.
All right, let's go to the absolute stinker field at Soldier Field. The game of the week for Joe. The 49ers drop one in Chicago. 19-10 Bears win. There's not a lot to talk about here, I don't think. David Montgomery, even though he didn't score, still got 17 carries, but only 26 yards. The footing wasn't great. I just don't think you can put a lot of stock into this. Khalil Herbert did get 9 carries and ended up scoring. It was good to see Fields go run 11 times, though.
Yeah, I do have a little stat breakdown. So Justin Fields was 8 for 17 with 121 passing yards, 28 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns with 1 interception as well. So as you can tell, that was an electric day. Those 2 touchdown passes, though, I mean, if you saw the game, you understand why both of these quarterbacks had such a dreadful day. But Trey Lance on the flip side, 13 for 28. So he threw 11 more times than Justin Fields and had 5 more completions. 13 for 28 with 164 passing yards, 54 rushing yards. So he did beat Justin Fields in that aspect, but 0 touchdowns and 1 interception.
How could they even see?
Yeah, I mean, it was
Trey Lance
crazy.
threw the ball 28 times, and he probably couldn't even see.
Yeah, I can't believe. I mean, Elijah Mitchell getting injured really threw a wrench into their playing because I'm sure they weren't planning on throwing the ball that much in that.
Jeff Wilson
in that
came in. I believe he fumbled, but I think Debo still outcarried Jeff Wilson regardless. Yeah. So keep an eye out for that.
All right, let's go to Detroit, where the Eagles did pull it off 38-35. But once again, I took It was plus 4.5. My Detroit Lions, and
I believe we were both on this.
They cover. I told you.
I'm pretty sure I was on them as well with you.
All they got to do is lose by 3 at home, and guess what? They did. And they covered in the fourth quarter where they outscored the Eagles 14-0.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift, 15 for 144 and one touchdown.
Amazing.
Jamal Williams, 11 for 148. And he got 2 touchdowns. Get the fuck out of here, Jamal
just
Williams.
Falling in the end zone. He's getting the ball and just falling forward.
I don't understand. I do. He's a big locker room guy, and he's a good player. Jamal Williams is a good player, but come on. It should be Swift with 2 and Williams with 1. Whatever, I digress.
Yeah.
On the receiving side, Amon-Ra St. Brown followed up greatly with 864, 1 touchdown. Hawkinson wasn't terrible. He didn't kill you. I think a lot of these tight ends are going to be a lot of touchdown dependable. 4 for 38. He had 7 targets, which is fine. And then also DJ Chark. I guess you have to look out for him. 8 targets, 4 for 52 and a touchdown. On the Philadelphia side, Miles Sanders. This is crazy. Miles Sanders, 13 carries for 96 and a touchdown. Jalen Hurts had 17 carries for 90 and a touchdown. Gainwell, 5 carries, 20 and a touchdown. And Boston Scott, 4 for 10 yards and a touchdown.
10 yards? You're kidding. Stop.
There was so much
out
output.
Of Philadelphia.
There was so much output in this game with 70-some total points in the game. To have that rushing output for the whole Philadelphia Eagles backfield, including Jalen Hurts, and have A.J. Brown had 15 targets and 10-plus catches. It was just a crazy game. I don't see that happening every time Philadelphia hits the field, especially because I thought their defense was supposed to be better. And Detroit put up 35 on them, so I don't really.
Where was Rodrigo? Who watched Hard Knocks? Where was Rodrigo?
He was out there. I think he started.
I know, but I don't think they played very well.
I don't think so either. 38 points isn't something to be proud of. But actually, I have a question for you guys about this game. What do you do with Devontae Smith? A.J. Brown's got 17 whatever targets.
Yeah, he got 13. I have it right in front of me. 13 targets for A.J. Brown. He had 10 for 155. Devontae Smith, 4 targets with a gooser.
I don't see how I can start him until something changes. Right. I feel like I have to see it for a week. I'm benching him. I'm not dropping him, but I have to see it for at least a week or 2 before I can feel comfortable having him in my starting lineup.
Yeah,
here's what I say. Look, you can't count on you can't count on Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, and Miles Sanders to all score every week. That's not going to happen. I also don't think they're going to have Jalen Hurts carry the ball 17 times. They must have saw something that was working.
I actually think the Eagles did this last year where they had Jordan Howard and Boston Scott scoring touchdowns over Kenneth Gainwell because Miles Sanders was out.
Yep.
That was unbelievable because I started Gainwell that week.
On top of all that, I don't think you get the offensive output from the running backs like that, at least not as much. And also, I don't think you can count on 10 catches from A.J. Brown. He's never been that guy unless it continues to happen right now. I think he just benched Devonta Smith.
Yep.
That's about right.
All right, let's go to the next game. This one was probably my least favorite game to watch on the board. I know there's a lot of points, but these 2 teams just annoy me. Saints win. They come from behind and win 27-26 in Atlanta. Jameis Winston was doing everything but giving Kamara the ball.
I think Cordero Patterson is the big name to highlight in this game overall from fantasy. I was
big on Cordero. I thought he was still a top 24 running back.
I know. You did. You had him in your top 24. I had him sitting on my bench just getting the ball put in his gut 22 times. 120 rushing yards. He had a great day, found the end zone as well.
Don't forget about Mariota here. Mariota's first start in 3 years, and he almost led the Falcons to a win. I don't think he looked exceptional, but I think for his first start in 3 years, he certainly looked a lot better than some of the quarterbacks we saw throughout the league.
Yeah, I agree. But when I saw Mariota and Cordero running the read option, I thought he looked pretty good. So
yeah. Point out, obviously Kamara didn't have the best day. I think it gets better. Michael Thomas, the big guy here, 5 for 57 with 2 touchdowns, 8 targets. Jarvis also had 9 targets, and he went over 100 yards on the day. So something maybe we should have talked about a little more. Good output for him. On the Atlanta side, Drake London was the rookie, led the way with targets, at least tied with Pitts. Not a great day from Pitts. Cordero we talked about, and then I think Marcus Mariota, I think he can get the guys the ball. I think it just depends on what week it is. Not a lot more to say about this. You want to go into Cleveland and Carolina?
Yeah.
Cleveland, Carolina, another boring one if you ask me. Cleveland pulls it out at the last second of the field goal. They win 26-24. McCaffrey should have gotten the ball more. 10 carries for 30 yards and a touchdown. Robbie Anderson, 8 targets, 5 for 102 and a touchdown. DJ Moore, we talked about earlier, had a stinker. Kareem Hunt, I'll leave it for you. But also Amari Cooper looked not good.
What about the Browns potentially finding their franchise kicker for the first time in franchise history? Huh?
Yeah, the kid from LSU
nailing that 58-yarder like it was nothing.
Yeah,
good for them, you know.
Yeah, both running backs for Cleveland looked good. Nick Chubb had 141 rushing yards, and Kareem Hunt was very effective on the ground and in the passing game. So just like what you'd expect to see.
We talked about it earlier. Brissett did not look great, so I don't know if you're really looking forward to any pass catchers in Cleveland. On the next game, the Giants, the New York Giants, they get it done in Tennessee, 21-20. The Giants pull it off, and
the G-men are back.
Upsets. Huh?
The G-men are back.
There they are.
Shout out
the
Jackson
New York
Edelman.
Football Giants.
Saquon Barkley is back. That's who's back.
18 for
awesome
164 and a touchdown.
Awesome.
68 with the longest. Remember that? Remember when Saquon Barkley at any point he could break one out and go?
That's what we saw. We saw him do it twice. He didn't break it all the way, but he broke 2 big runs, and it looked great to see. He looked explosive.
Tennessee, I don't even know who this is. I have to click on his name to find him.
Wait.
Kyle Phillips.
I got it.
6 for 66.
Kyle Phillips is the number 1 wide receiver in Tennessee. It's not big old Bob Woods. It's not Traylon Burke. Traylon Burke's had a pretty nice day, but it's not either of those two. It's rather the rookie out of UCLA, Kyle Phillips. 6 catches for 66 on 9 targets. Have a day, kid.
Yeah. Derrick Henry, I mean, not the best day, but he still got the rock 21 times for 82 yards. If he gets into the end zone, it's a completely different looking day. I think Kadarius Toney, he's in the doghouse.
Oh, no, he's just running the ball, I guess. I think he had a couple rushes, but
not
a single target. He just ran the ball like 4 times. That was it.
Yeah, interesting.
Good for him.
And then let's come down to the final couple here. We got Las Vegas and the Chargers. We talked about it. Don't be worried about Devontae Adams. 17 targets, 10 for 141. A lot really to talk more about on the Chargers. I mean, Vegas was pretty straightforward. It was Adams. That was pretty much the offense.
Waller was a little involved, I believe. I think he had 4 catches for 79. Yeah. He was there.
On the Chargers
side, I mean, the only thing to really highlight, I mean, Keenan going down and Mike Williams was still MIA. So that's worrisome. We're going to have to see what happens after that. But to see Mike Williams only have, I think it was 2 catches for 10 yards, if I'm correct.
Yep.
After Keenan Allen going down as well. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, Justin Herbert was kind of spreading the ball all over the place. I don't know if that's going to continue to happen. Mike Williams was definitely boom bust last year, and odds are that's going to happen again this year.
DeAndre Carter, Joe.
Yep. Shooting up the ranks.
Stock going way up.
All right. Into Minnesota, the Vikings beat the Packers 23-7. We kind of covered this one a lot earlier, so not a ton to talk about.
Not a lot to go over. We can keep on
just shout out Dalvin Cook. We didn't talk about that much. He got 20 carries for 90 yards, so not worried about him. He's also 3 for 18. Yeah.
He'll be better.
Justin Jefferson, obviously, as well. Just
KC in Arizona. KC kicked the absolute shit out of them, 44-21, and that was with 14 points late from Arizona. I believe that's what led to Hollywood Brown finding the end zone.
Probably.
Trace McSorley took a couple snaps. Just throw that out there. Pacheco led the way in carries. Travis Kelce looked like the man. Juju, 8 targets, 6 for 79.
Yep.
I don't know, Joe. Maybe that looks a little better than MVS.
MVS looked pretty good too. Neither one of them went crazy, but yeah.
Arizona legend Greg Dortch took it out.
Yeah, came out of nowhere.
9 targets, 7 for 63. Really not a lot to talk about here. I feel like
Harrison Butker twisted his ankle earlier in the game, so they had Justin Reed coming in to do the kicks.
Yeah, that was cool.
So they have a safety that can kick 60-yard field goals. So. And Mahomes just proving again why he's the man and why Tyler's not going to be able to keep up with somebody like that in the NFL.
Unbelievable. I don't know. I didn't watch this game a ton. What did Murray look like? Anyone have any opinions?
Not great.
Yeah, not great.
A lot
James
of their
Conner found the end zone.
Yep.
All right, and then finally, the Sunday night football game. Let me shout out Dallas. The Dallas Cowboys through. Well, now we're not done yet because we got to see that other game that we're recording before. But Dallas Cowboys, as of right now, are the only team that haven't scored a touchdown.
Oh my God, you're right.
Dak Prescott did not look good. He also was injured. Zeke looked. Now he had 10 for 52. I didn't like how Zeke looked, and I didn't like how that helmet looked. He looks like a fucking idiot.
him and college helmets are whack.
They got those new helmets, and I hate it.
Yeah.
Shout out Tom Brady, 2 carries for -1 yards. Just thought I'd put that out there.
Leonard
Fournette, I was a little worried about him. I guess I shouldn't be. 21 carries for 127.
Playoff Lenny's here to stay.
Yeah.
Mike
Evans, 7 targets, 5 for 71 with a touchdown. Looked like Mike Evans. And then we talked about the breaking news. Godwin probably not looking good. So I would assume Julio Jones, Russell Gage are the big pickups here.
Gage was no. I didn't see Gage at all.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say because Godwin missed a lot of the game. So it's not like that. You have to take what you saw and kind of play that in for the future. So, I mean, Julio definitely has some value, I think, based upon how that game went, but I don't know how much I would look into Russell Gage. And on the flip side, we have to be worried about the whole Dallas offense. I mean, even Dalton Schultz had a good game, but when you take out Dak Prescott now, what's really going to happen with that offense? Who's going to be able to step up without their star quarterback? So.
All right, so that was the NFL recap. We want to jump into now our scoreboards of our fantasy league.
Yeah, so I have this up right now. I was thinking we could just run through the ones that are already over, kind of talk about those, and then we'll highlight the other few matchups on Saturday when they're finished up.
Sure, go ahead. Why don't you lead it off?
Yeah, so first one here that's done. We have Andy Collins, Papa Kamish, facing not second place victory lap, Andrew Atkins. This matchup is locked in 138.86 to 100.8. Andy's got the win. He's got the first win of the year.
In maybe the worst matchup of quarterbacks. Dak Prescott for Andy with 4.4 against Aaron Rodgers with 3.7.
Yeah, but Andy has both Colts studs, Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman on his team that kind of carried him the way there, as well as Kareem Hunt in his RB2 spot was very big. Jalen Waddle as well. Atkins has Jamar Chase and Deebo Samuel as his wide receivers. He went wide receiver heavy early on. Jamar Chase obviously stood out. He also has Nick Chubb with 16.3 in his running back position, but Josh Jacobs is a flex, Hunter Henry as a tight end, David Montgomery, RB1, and Aaron Rodgers. None of those guys stood up for him. And he's going to be starting the season off. He's going to be starting off the season 0-1.
Yeah.
Should have started Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, no kidding.
I believe our next one that's locked, Spano, the warmest cuckolds.
Yep.
He pulled it out against Derek. 34.
Derek never wins week one matchups.
Never.
I mean, it just never happens.
It was close, though.
5.9 from Zeke. Get out of here.
I mean, Derek had Devontae Adams, and Devontae Adams, Brandon Cooks, Travis Kelce. Those are his standout guys. They all performed well. Everybody else, his next best performing player was Nyheim Hines, and he has guys like Tom Brady, Ezekiel Elliott, MVS. His kicker, Matt Prater, only got him 1 point. I mean, none of that's going to really get
Shaq
you a
Thompson. He's got Shaq Thompson right there.
Yeah, only 6 tackles.
I mean, 8 points from the defense is rough.
And it's not that Spano had that great of a week, to be honest. He had Josh Allen, Terry McLaurin, Michael Thomas. I mean, those were his big outputs of the week. He had Najee and Dameon Pierce are his running backs. Those guys, Najee got hurt. Dameon Pierce was out touched. I mean, weird to see.
Yeah.
So Spano's starting 1-0. Derek's 0-1. Jumping right on in. We got Jackson, who's milk with Bry. He has a new co-manager. Shout out Brian Brooks.
We should have put that out there earlier.
Yeah, welcome to the league,
First time in the league.
Brooks. Happy to have him join here as a co-manager with Jackson, who was playing Celiac Attack, Sam Smith. We had him on last week. Smitty starting off 0-1. It was a 154 to 128 matchup. I mean, Sam Smith's team, if you look at Justin Herbert and then you look at Saquon Barkley. Yeah, James Robinson on the bench.
He's got a lot of running backs. What's he going to do with all these running backs?
He's got a lot of running backs, but Saquon Barkley stood out. Christian McCaffrey, I think, will have better days to come, but I mean, besides that, not really much going on.
I mean, really for Jackson, 40 points from Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
It's a good start. And you get 22 from Edwards-Helaire, which you're not expecting.
Yeah.
That really kind of
27 from AJ Brown.
He has Elijah Mitchell as well, who just got hurt. So we'll have to see what goes on from there. He did want me to mention his 0 RB setup within the draft, which we have a few people that did that actually. And I mean, it worked out for him. Jackson, I love you. It's not going to work out with 40 and 26 from your two main wide receivers every week, but I do like your roster, but we'll see what happens with Elijah Mitchell coming in.
And then I believe the next one, our final one that is a lock. Barely legal teams. Diego Griava pulls it off against Patrick Gamble. Sorry, I called him Pat, his real name.
Pat.
Just on the Pat.
Oh wow,
Tyler
giving out my information.
Patrick,
hey, don't forget about Sam James now. Shout out Sam James. The Soups and Sammys, Sam James back in the league. 3 years ago, Sam James handed me over this team, and I just went. But now he's back, and we're gonna start winning. Even though we didn't win week 1, we got a plan for.
Well, sadly, you started off with Thursday with a 0.0 from Cam Akers. That did not go well.
Couldn't believe it.
I mean, you had Jalen Hurts, Tyreek Hill, and
18 off the bench
from
Miles Sanders.
Yeah, Miles Sanders on the bench.
Either Michael Carter or Miles Sanders, I'd be sniffing my first week 1 win in this league in 4 fucking years.
Yeah, so that definitely hurts to get beat by the auto drafter, Diego Grijalva.
Lost by 11.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper Kupp obviously took him to the promised land. He had a few decent days besides that with James Conner, Joe Burrow, Deontay Johnson, but nothing really that stands out too much. But Diego will be starting 1-0, and Soup and Sammy's 0-1.
Listen, Dalvin Cook's gonna get better. He's not. I'm not expecting 13 from him. I'm not expecting 1 from Mooney. I got some pieces on the bench. I feel like our team's pretty well balanced. I mean, this is probably one of the better teams I've had in the last couple of years. At least I feel like. So we got weeks ahead. It's only week 1. I'm down, but I'm not out.
Yeah, don't stress about it too much. That's for sure. Plenty of weeks left. We have 2 other matchups. We'll get into those on Saturday. They'll be decided upon Monday's matchup. So why don't we just hop right into the Thursday night preview and knock that out before we finish up here? Well, we got the LA Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs laying 3 points at home. Usually get your 3 points when you're the home team. So we're basically just looking at a pick 'em here. I mean, right off the bat, the Chiefs and the Chargers both looked great. I'm going to go with what I personally think will be the better defense. I'm going to take the Chargers at the +3 here on the road going to Kansas City. I'm a Justin Herbert believer. I think this game could be electric. I just think that the Chargers defense should have a slightly better chance of corralling the Chiefs offense that other than like vice versa. I think the Chargers will be able to maybe even sneak a win out of Kansas City.
Go ahead, Sip. I'm waiting. I don't know where I'm going to go with this one yet.
He's thinking.
Yeah.
I'm riding the Chargers. Hard. The Chargers are my Super Bowl pick this year, so I'm going to be riding them all year.
It's really super hard to go against Patrick Mahomes and what he showed us in week 1, even without a guy like without Tyreek Hill, So, I mean, I'm expecting a shootout, clearly. I mean, these are 2 of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think I'm going to take Chiefs spread here. It's -3.5, correct? I'm going to go Chiefs at home, -3.5. Arrowhead's going to be loud. Mahomes is going to keep tearing it up.
I see -3 right now, so.
Yeah, -3, -3.5. I was also looking at that with Keenan Allen potentially being out and Mike not really knowing who's getting the ball in Los Angeles.
I think I'm thinking that I'll give you a little more time to think, Tony, but
I have my pick.
Okay, well, I want to say one thing real quick. I think with the Chargers having these next few days to actually game plan without Keenan Allen, because I don't think he'll play. I think Mike Williams is probably going to be a smash play against the Chiefs. So
yeah, I agree.
I still think that they'll be able to game plan for a Keenan Allen-less game and allow Joshua Palmer to step up, Mike Williams to step up, and probably Gerald Everett get involved more too. Go ahead, Tony.
All right, I'm going to take the Chiefs -3.5. And the only reason really because of that is I was just looking. I think it's going to be a shootout, but at the end of the day, I was looking at the Chargers. J.C. Jackson is already out for this game.
Yeah.
That was their big guy they brought in to lock down, at least take away one option.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think – and the Chargers brought in a lot. I know they had a good day from
Khalil Mack?
Yeah, they brought in Khalil Mack, and he had a good day. But I just think the firepower for the Chiefs – they throttled Arizona. And I didn't think Arizona was, like, terrible. I don't think Arizona's great, but I didn't think they're terrible. And then, the Chargers kind of let the Raiders hang in. It's tough with this AFC West because we're going to have to see how it shakes out. But I think Chiefs being at home and no J.C. Jackson, I lean towards the -3.5. And this will be a better game for us to see. You kind of couldn't take anything away from the first game with the Chiefs because it was just a dominant thing where they were able to get everyone involved. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping a closer game here. We get to see who is going to be fantasy usable for this offense of the Chiefs.
That's a really good point. And just from the running game with the Chargers, I know Austin Eckler really didn't do anything crazy week 1 against the Raiders, which is surprising considering that the Chargers are kind of in control for most of the game. But, I think Eckler will be fine, obviously. We talked about the passing game in L.A., the rushing game in Kansas City, I'm curious to see, and hopefully a more neutral game script of what happens there. And then the passing game, who can really step out and be that big wide receiver too.
Is Pacheco rostered in our league?
I actually dropped him right before.
Oh, is he?
I dropped him right before the Sunday game because I wanted Gerald Everett because I was worried with my tight ends. So
that's a shame, Soup, that
he's out there.
That's a shame, Soup, that you are lower on the waiver wire than I am.
That's ridiculous. That's preposterous.
Oh my God. So he's out there. If anybody wants to pick him up, who knows?
I will say, real quick. Do you have anything else to add to this game?
No, not this game. You're good.
We'll talk about
the Chargers against you two. You guys got the Chiefs. I'm on the Chargers.
Well, let's talk about it real quick. I know we'll finish them off, but mention the 2 games that are not final in our league.
Yeah.
Bryce, this is the close one. Bryce is at 136. The Squeegee Boys against Jake Wills, hooked on a Thielen, who's got 120. So Jake's trailing by 16 points. right? My math's
good.
Yeah,
and he only has Javonte Williams.
Just left. Javonte Williams left. Bryce is done. So that's really up in the air. We'll see Javonte in the new Broncos offense for the first time by the time this comes out. So that's interesting. And then me and Joe, it's still
East Side Fantasy Football Bowl, week 1.
Now, I was looking rough. Let me tell you. Alvin Kamara, 7.6. T. Higgins leaving at 4.7. Not great. Hunter Renfrow, 6.1. Thank you very much. But let's point out the good things. DeAndre Swift, great game.
Yep.
Devin White, 8 tackles and 2 sacks. That's right. I mentioned a defender. He's got 18. He's keeping me in this. I'm at 99. I have 2 guys left. The great Jerry Jeudy and the even better man, Brandon McManus. That's right, the kicker. Now, Joe still got 2 guys left, too. He's got the stack of Russell Wilson and Sutton. So is it possible? You're damn right it is. According to ESPN, it's 15% chance. I trail 107 to 99. So really, if you think about it, I just need Jerry Jeudy and the kicker to outscore the quarterback, Russell Wilson.
Well, the reason I love the spot is because Russell is going to – if the only way Jerry Judy's popping off is if Russell's giving it to him. So
no, because McManus is going to come in and play quarterback.
Oh, well, that's true. I did not think of that part. So that is
it's
possible.
Not looking good. It's not looking good, but those are the 2 games I still want.
Yeah, good luck, though. We'll see what happens tonight. I'm excited for that game. And speaking of that game, we will talk about that on Saturday's show. We'll get into that. But, for now, now's episode 5. Follow us on Twitter, Eastside FF on Twitter. We have a few platforms as well as Apple Podcasts at Eastside Fantasy Football. Even if you're not in our league, we'd love for other people to listen. Obviously, we talk about a lot of things other than just our league. We go over a lot of fantasy stuff, a lot of NFL talk. And so follow us on Apple Podcast and YouTube at Eastside Fantasy Football. And
I had some more breaking news.
Interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
Oh, what you got?
Breaking news.
We have a lot. Elijah Mitchell. He's expected to miss some time. He's getting an MRI today, but it is saying that they do expect him to miss some time.
Gotcha.
See
what happens with that. Maybe Jeff Wilson, but still.
Yeah, riding off what Joe said, give us a follow on both Apple, YouTube, Twitter. YouTube's coming out in 2 parts now. We got to figure it out.
Yep.
So for all the people who don't have Apple, Derek, tight.
Give them a follow. Can I say the tag? I know it by heart.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's going to be at Eastside FF. At Eastside FF, capital S, FF at the end. Make sure you guys go and follow them on Twitter. Hey, fellas, it was great. I'd love to come back on sometime soon. One thing I am going to say, because I know she's going to be listening, my girlfriend Katie just got into fantasy football this year and got a week 1 win.
Yeah,
week
Katie.
1 win for Katie.
Let's go, Katie.
Good
Who'd you
beat?
Awesome.
Who'd you beat?
She wasn't sure of her opponent, but she won.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right.
That's
All
awesome.
right.
Good for Katie.
Yep.
Thanks for joining
appreciate
us,
it, fellas.
Love you, buddy.
Absolutely.
All right, so
love you guys.
That'll be a wrap for myself, Nick Testoni, for my co-host Joe Briner, our special guest Tyler Soup Campbell. That is the end of the pod. Thank you. We'll be back on Saturday.
Adios.